there, my name is Amber and I'm so thrilled that you've made your way to my yoga videos. So most of these videos I do on Facebook Live first before I post them here on YouTube. So if you'd like to do them with me live, follow me at Kaleidoscope Yoga on Facebook and on Instagram for dates and times. But in the meantime, grab yourself a mat, some blocks, a blanket, maybe even a bolster, whatever it's going to take to make your practice accessible and comfortable for you, and I'll meet you on the mat. Thanks for being here. Before we begin, I would just invite you to find that comfortable seat and lengthen up through the spine. Take a couple of nice deep breaths, and hopefully I don't sound like I'm a too much of a mouth breather with with this new microphone on. So let your tailbones relax down into the ground, finding the surface that you're resting on, relaxing through the hips, releasing the shoulders down, letting the chin either tilt maybe just a little bit or let it be parallel to the floor. And then close your eyes if that feels good. And welcome yourself into this space today, y'all. I'm so glad that you're able to take an hour to be with yourself first and foremost, but then be with our little community as well. I very much appreciate you being here, and I'm happy that you get to take a little self-indulgent time. So maybe just for a moment, just give yourself a little imaginary pat on the back for making it here to the mat tonight. And so just continue with your breathing. Letting the belly expand and contract. And then moving into the chest, maybe for a breath or two, feeling the chest expand and contract. And just allow yourself to move into this calm space. And so full moons, I don't know about you, but I love the moon. It is just so special, and full moons are amazing. And they can bring on some pretty crazy energy. But full moons are about endings. And it's a really wonderful time to maybe do some self-reflection and see if there are things that you're trying to accomplish in your life, big or small, whatever they may be, and really notice if there are things attached to that that are kind of standing in your way. They're not allowing you to move forward as much as you'd like. I guess distractions, maybe. And this particular moon, the Aries moon, is urging us to find balance between our personal needs and maybe our significant others' needs, or people that you share a lot of time and space with. It's very important to find balance between dependence and companionability. And this moon also asks us to express our emotions. If we have things that are building up or pent up, this would be a good time to express those emotions. I don't know about you, but there used to be a time when I would let things simmer and simmer and simmer, and before I knew it, like I just couldn't take it anymore and I would blow up. And luckily I've come to a place in my life, and I hope you have too, that you can recognize when this starts to happen. And you can move forward with compassion and a kind heart for yourself and, you know, for others or situations, of course. So before we begin our practice, I would like to ask you to maybe reflect and notice these things that may be standing in your way. And maybe you don't have anything, and that's amazing. But maybe just kind of notice them and think about how you might feel if you didn't have these things in your way. Would you feel free, more alive, more confident in your ability to do whatever it is you're trying to do? And see if you can manifest that feeling. Maybe you feel it in your belly or your heart space. Maybe you feel it in your throat, where we can express ourselves. And I'd like you to hold on to that as best as you can tonight. It's so very important to be able to dive in and find these little nuggets of gold that you can work with. You know, if you can imagine how it feels, before you know it, you don't have to imagine it. It will start to happen. It will start to manifest. So with today's full moon and our Chandra Namaskar, full moon flow, during the practice, see if you can hold on to that feeling or those feelings, whatever it is. And then we'll come back to those feelings when we move into our meditation a little bit later on in our practice. So just for now, keeping those eyes closed, let's just warm up a little bit. Taking the shoulders to the ears on an inhale. Remember, we're not drawing the ears to the shoulders, so we're just lifting the shoulders up. And exhaling, slowly letting them float down. Big full breath. Inhale, exhale. Bring it on up on the inhale, shoulders to the ears. And release. Good. Let's do that one more time. Shoulders to the ears. And release. Relax the hands down by your side. And we're just going to take some big sweeping circles. We want to open up through the shoulders, and we're going to cross the hands in front of us. So on an inhale, bringing the hands out in front of us nice and long. Big inhale up. Maybe open up a little bit more through the ribs, and then exhale, draw the arms down. Let's do that 2 more times this way. Hi there. And exhale down. They've been sleeping all day, and of course they choose right now to run around. 1 more time, big inhale. And exhale. Good, let's do that the opposite direction now. So lifting up, and opposite hand on top. Big inhale up, opening through that chest, and exhale, bring the hands down. Let's do 1 more. Big inhale up. And exhale, bring those hands down. Good. Let's find goddess arms. Elbows out directly from your shoulders. Hug in a little bit at the base of the belly. And we're just going to hug shoulder blades to spine. So if you've been sitting in front of a computer like I have all day, this is going to release those back muscles. Or if you've been driving or sitting, anything, especially looking down at your computer or smartphone, lugging around our big heads, this should feel really nice. Might feel kind of tight at first. It's just activating those muscles a little bit. Keep squeezing, keep breathing. Yeah, Good. So now we're just going to move the arms a little bit. Take an inhale, lifting the arms up, finding space between the ribs and the hips. Splay those fingers out, little jazz hands here. And then exhale, using those back muscles and hugging those shoulder blades back down. Let's give it another go. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale, release. This time we're going to lift up, find that space, clasp the hands together, and exhale to your right. Let that left hip anchor down. Engage softly in the belly, draw yourself back up, and exhale to your left. Draw yourself back up. Let's do that one more time each side, please. To the right. And bring it up. And to your left. Bring it back up. Big inhale. Release the hands. Bring them behind you. Place them behind your booty and just give yourself another chest lift here. Now, if it feels good in your shoulders, you can really hug the shoulders back. If the shoulders are feeling a little tired, just lift up through the chest. And softly release. If you're sitting up on a block, you might want to move it for a moment. A blanket should be okay though if you're sitting on one, to lift those hips. And we're just going to draw the hands out in front of us for just a moment. So palms down to the ground and find a straight back. So your neck, the crown of the head, it's all an extension of the spine. And we're letting that tailbone relax down just a little. And we're just going to walk to our left. Take a breath here. On your next inhale, we're just going to float back to center. Allow yourself a full breath. Inhale, exhale. And then we're going to rock to the right. Good. Next inhale, come on back to center. Allow yourself for a full breath, please. And then walk those hands back. And we're just going to simply switch our feet. So drawing the front leg behind and vice versa. And let's bring those hands back down. And just kind of working slowly and easily into those hips. Again, anchoring the tailbone down, lengthening through the crown of the head. Letting the neck be an extension of the spine. And then this time, let's begin by walking to the right. Take a full breath here. And then come on back to center on an inhale. And then come on over to the left. Good. Walk yourself back to center. And we're going to release our legs, give them a little space here for a few moments. Stretching out through the soles of the feet, flexing in the toes. Give your knees a little massage if they're feeling a little tight. Point and flex the toes. Yeah, it should feel pretty good. Get into those shins, the calves. Very nice. So go ahead and lengthen up through our spine. We're going to do Dandasana, staff pose. If you need to, remove the little fleshy part so you can really connect those sits bones down. Finding length. And let's bring those arms up. Reach them up nice and high. So when we go forward, we're going to hinge at our hips. We're not going to round down through the upper body. We got lots of control here. So as we flex through the feet, make sure your heels aren't lifting because that is You could hyperextend through the back of the knees if that's the case. So heels are down, toes are up, you're flexing through your quads, reaching through the side body, lifting through the fingertips. And when you're ready, we're just gonna drop down a little bit. So take a nice deep inhale here. And you're just gonna move forward just a little. And you might find that this is it for you today. And that is totally fine. You can stay here. Just going to breathe one more breath. And then on the next exhale, we're going to go forward just a little bit more. Now, the reason why we go so slow is because we want to give our hamstrings, our low back, our calves an opportunity to move into this nice and slow, to really have that opportunity to release any tension that you might be holding in this space. So, lengthening just a little bit more through that front body. Let's come down just a tiny bit more if you can. One big breath here, and on your exhale, float those hands down. Maybe you touch your toes, maybe you reach to your calves. And just relax it down. Let the head relax. Let the shoulders relax. Take a couple of breaths. Enjoy this lengthening through the spine. Take one more breath here. And then as you inhale, next time, hands to the calves or to the floor, and you're going to slowly walk yourself up. We're going to take a little twist. So a couple options here. Right foot on the inside of the thigh, right foot on the outside of the left thigh. And if you do that and you have the flexibility, you can draw that left heel in. But what I want you to watch out for, if you do decide to do this, that you're not leaning off to the side. I'd like you to have a nice straight spine. And it's any one of those options is going to give you what you need. So don't feel like you have to be here. So we're going to take our right hand and we're going to bring it behind us. You're going to take a nice deep inhale here, lengthen through the spine, and then you're going to take your left hand and either wrap it around your knee, or you can drop that elbow to the outside of the right leg and take a little twist here. Make sure that you lengthen up through the spine on an inhale, and then as you exhale, you can move into that twist. And just find your breath here. And I also invite you to find a little movement in your neck. Hello. So we're going to take 2 more deep breaths here, and maybe you want to find stillness while you do this. And then check into the legs and the hips. Make sure that we're not holding any tension here. And on your next exhale, go ahead and unwind nice and slow. And we're going to switch our legs. So, and keep in mind, this side might be a little bit different than the other one. So, one side you might just want to keep the leg extended, or you might want to bend. Just do whatever feels good. So let's take the left hand behind us this time. Let's find that nice tall extension in the spine. Big breath in. And then either wrap the right arm around the knee or draw that elbow to the outside of the leg. And then again, once you find your breath and you find that space where the breathing feels easy and the tension starts to release through the spine, go ahead and find some more movement in the neck. Whatever that means to you. Keeping the breath soft and slow. Good. Take 2 more breaths and really hone in on what's happening in the body. Notice any tension, notice what feels good. And then on your next exhale, we're just slowly going to unwind. So good. All right, let's go ahead and come onto our tabletop, please. And this is a great time to pad your knees if you need to. So drawing the hands underneath your shoulders, we've got our knees underneath our hips, toes are directly behind us. We're just going to find a couple of cat-cows here. Take a nice deep inhale, dropping the belly down, letting the gaze and the hips move to the sky. And exhale, round through the spine, pressing through the palms of the hands, letting the shoulders and the head relax, tailbone down. Inhale into your cow. Big full breath. Exhale, pulling that belly button to the spine. It's like you're wringing out your belly. Let's do one more. Drop that belly down. And exhale into your cat. And then just for a moment, let's indulge in a child's pose. Go ahead and drop those hips back. Reach those hands forward. Forehead towards the floor. If you can't reach the floor quite with the forehead, go ahead and make fists with your hands and stack them. And just allow a couple of breaths to cycle up and down the spine. And then maybe for a moment, think back to that feeling of what you would feel like if you didn't have anything standing in your way. If you could release whatever holds you back, whatever offers up resistance to you. Let's see if we can shift that a little bit tonight. Take 2 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly start to bring the hands out in front. We're going to draw ourselves back into tabletop and walk those hands forward just a little bit. We're going to come into our downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up high. And we're going to hug that belly in, kind of pulling it in, making the belly a little concave space. Pressing through the palms of the hands, shifting that inner wrist towards the floor to connect a little bit more with the thumb and forefinger. External rotation in your shoulders. Lifting through the hips, walking your dog if that feels good. Through the calf muscles. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. And then go ahead and start to make your way to the front of the mat. Yes. Let's take a nice deep inhale, find our flat back. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, roll yourself up. Big breath in, fingertips to the sky. Palms together, exhale, hands to heart space. Take a nice deep inhale, fingertips to the sky. Let's find that little standing half moon, the first little moon that we'll do today. And we're going to exhale, dropping our weight into our left leg. Stretching hands to the right, and you can lift that right leg if that feels safe to you, hugging in through the core. One more breath. As you inhale, draw yourself to center. Let the weight fall into the right leg. Exhale to the left. Connect to the core. Strong and tall through the right side. And then lift that left leg if it feels good. Good. On your next inhale, draw yourself back to center. We're going to take another deep inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to sweep our hands so the palms of our hands come to our low back. Take a nice deep inhale, lifting up through the chest, supporting your low back with your hands, taking a little bit of a back bend. Big breath in, and exhale, float it down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release it down, bend through the knees. Right foot's going to come back. Set yourself up here. If you need to, you can drop that back knee. That's always available to you. Right hand's going to press into the ground. We're going to take a nice deep inhale, find our revolved twist here, left hand to the sky. So we are now in our moon salutations. So another option here, if you'd like, you can drop the knee out just a little bit. Drop your right hip down and drop your left arm behind you. You can look to your left fingertips. One more breath here. On an inhale, we're going to come on out. Both hands on the inside of the left foot. And we're going to walk ourselves into a wide angled forward fold. And just hang out here for just a moment. See if you can really lengthen through the spine. Press into the soles of the feet. The feet are parallel. And let your sits bones sink back just a little bit. So let your weight fall into the heels just a touch. And then you can reach your hands forward, stretching a little bit more through the back. Good. So we're going to bend into that left knee, stretching through the inner thigh here on the right. And we're going to walk our hands towards our right toe, just like we did when we were in seated a little bit earlier. So I'm hoping you feel a nice stretch through the inner thigh, maybe even through the calf, and you feel those muscles activate in the left leg. And then we're going to walk back through center, and we're going to drop into the right leg this time. Hands come to the left. So we're getting a nice little stretch through the outer part of the right side of the body. We're strengthening that right leg, getting a little stretch on the inner part of the left thigh. Even on the outer of the shin feels really good. Breathe it in, come back to center. And we're going to walk ourselves. So we're facing the back of the mat. And we're going to come into that low lunge. Hands to the mat. And we're going to walk that right foot back, coming into plank pose. Now you can drop your knees down if you'd like. We're not going to be here very long. Take one breath. As you exhale, drop your knees if they're not dropped already. Walk your palms out a little bit and come into puppy pose. Kind of a humble pose, dropping the heart space down. Relaxing the forehead if you can. Letting that heart space move towards the knees. And press into your knees too. We want to be active here. One more breath here. Then we're going to press into our forearms and draw ourselves forward. We're going to come into Sphinx. So come into your Sphinx pose just for a moment. Relaxing the legs, relaxing the shoulders, gazes forward. One breath here. Good. Bring the palms beside the chest and bring yourself into up dog. So tops of the feet to the ground, knees and thighs up, Finding a nice little stretch here. If this doesn't feel good, baby cobra is fine. Take a nice deep inhale here, and we're going to turn our toes under and make our way back into downward facing dog. Find a nice little stretch here. Take a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, you can hop or walk your way to the front of the mat. So gaze forward and just find your way forward, whichever way works best for you. So we're still going to be facing the back of the mat. Relaxing the head and the shoulders. Forward fold. And then when you're ready, we're going to drop our booty down just a little bit, rock into our heels, and up we go. Fingertips to the sky. Bring those palms together. Exhale to heart space. Good. Big inhale, fingertips to the sky. Let those palms come together, and we're going to do that little half moon again. We're going to exhale this time to the right. Let the weight fall into the left heel or left foot, and then lift that right foot if it feels good to you. Hugging into that belly. And then on an inhale, bring it all back to center. Let the weight fall into the right leg. Lean to the left, lifting that left leg up if that feels good to you. You can also keep your toe down. Good. Inhale, back. And let's exhale forward, bring the hands to your low back. Palms against the low back. Let's take an inhale and let those elbows move towards one another. Protecting your low back with the hands, lifting up through the chest, and then exhale, float it down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Fingertips to the mat. This time we're going to bring our left foot back, finding our low lunge. Again, remember you can drop that left heel. Left hand to the mat on the inside of the right foot. Take an inhale, right hand to the sky. Find that revolve twist. Relaxing the shoulder down. And again, if you'd like, you can do drop that right knee out just a little bit. Let your hip fall to the ground some. And open up with the right arm back. Bringing the gaze to the right hand. And you can do this even with the leg down, the knee down. And then take another inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to float the right hand on the inside of the foot. And we're going to make our way into that forward, wide leg forward fold again. Soles of the feet parallel, nice wide stance. Bring those fingertips out just a little bit so we can get a nice deep stretch through the back. Letting those hips fall to the back. Letting the weight come into the heels. Lots of length from the crown of the head, down the neck, down the spine. Good. So we're going to drop into that right leg again. And we're going to bring our fingertips to the left toes. Keep your breath steady and strong. You got this. On an inhale, come back to center. Keep those arms out in front of you. Nice deep stretch. And then go ahead and bend into that left leg. Hands come to the right leg. Nice deep stretch through the inner thigh, through the left side of the body. And then come on back to center. And then wander your way back to the front of the mat. So left foot's going to point forward. Right foot is behind. We're going to bring the palms to the mat, release the left leg back. We're going to find our plank pose here. You can drop your knees down if you need to. From here, we're just going to take one breath and exhale, knees to the ground, hands come out, find that puppy pose. Relaxing the forehead down, hips are up, pressing into the knees. One breath here. And then palms on the mat, forearms on the mat. Start to pull yourself forward, releasing the legs behind you. We're going to find our Sphinx pose. Take a breath or two here. Gaze is forward. Don't look up. We don't want to crunch the upper neck. And then next we're going to bring palms to our side, and you can either do baby cobra or you can find your up dog. Take a nice deep inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to find your downward facing dog. You're going to look to the front of the mat, and you can hop or walk, skip, do a little jig, whatever feels good to get you to the front of the mat. Good. Take a nice deep inhale, roll yourself up. Big breath to the sky, hands up. Bring the palms together and exhale, float them to your heart space. So we're just going to take a moment here just to check in, feel the body. So I had a request for standing half moon. So we're going to do standing half moon, but I'm also going to give a variation for those that may not practice half moon often. It is a more advanced pose, but it sure is a lot of fun once you can master it. So go ahead, and we're going to bring our right foot back behind us. Go ahead and bring the hands down. Make any adjustments that you need to do. And I like to use a block because my arms are short, and a block helps me. So I'll do the advanced first, and then I'll show the variation. So we're just going to bring our left hand down and open up through the right body, just like we're doing a little revolve twist here. And then from here, you're just going to draw the right leg up and out. So go ahead and stay here if you are in that posture. Now, if you want, you can just simply do this. So go ahead and take whichever variation feels best in your body, and we're just going to stay here for 3 more breaths, honoring the moon and just feeling the strength in our bodies, connecting to our core here. Good. Let's take 1 more breath, big inhale. And on your exhale, let that hand come down, let the leg come down. Good. Let's bring our hands to our thighs. So we kind of find this little flat back here. And we're just going to take this opportunity to do a little bit of cat-cow. So taking an inhale, looking up, and then exhale, rounding through the spine. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, elbows to the waist. Exhale, round it out. 1 more time. And exhale, roll it all the way up. Give those shoulders a little bit of a roll. So I'm just going to switch my block over here so I'm facing you while I do this next half moon. So placing the left foot down this time, or get on your knee, whatever feels best to you. And your hand can certainly be on the floor. So I'm going to connect to my core here. And as I roll up, oh, the side's much tighter. Keep connecting to that core, pressing solidly into the right foot. And then up we go with the left leg. Making sure your shoulders are stacked and we're not hugging to the ears. If you are more advanced, you can even reach back and grab your ankle. Grab my heel. 2 more breaths here. Whew. Go ahead and release on the exhale. Wind yourself down. And this time, coming into a forward fold and roll it up. Vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way up. Big breath in, fingertips to the sky. Bring those palms together. Exhale, roll it down. Let's do one more. Inhale, float it up, pressing into the soles of the feet, connecting to the glutes and the thighs, hugging in that low belly to protect the back. And last time, exhale, bring it on down. Go ahead and bend into those knees and come on down into a seated position. Go ahead and relax all the way back here. So we're just going to do a couple of bridge shapes. So pressing the soles of the feet into the ground, palms into the ground, knees and thighs zipped up. When you're ready to take an inhale, press into the soles of the feet and lift the hips up. Maybe you come all the way up to the shoulders. Maybe you don't. Let your back be the judge. If the back does not feel good, release out. Take a breath here. Pressing into the feet. And then on an exhale, float yourself down. Rolling the back down. Good. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Roll yourself up. And exhale down. Last time, roll it up. And release. Go ahead and let your legs come out long. Let your arms reach over the top of the head. Clasp the hands together. Turn the palms out and take a huge deep stretch. And relax and release. So just go ahead and find your Shavasana here. Relaxing down, and we're going to take about 5 minutes in Shavasana because we're going to do a meditation after Shavasana. So go ahead and just close the eyes, relax down. Feel the body being supported by the earth, knowing that you are in the right place at the right time. And letting your breath start to become a little slower, a little deeper, a little longer. Softening any points of tension you might feel in the body. So, resting exactly where you are, there's no need to move. Maybe drawing into your thoughts a forest. And in this forest is where you are, sitting around a beautiful campfire. And if you look up into the sky, you can see the full moon, as bright as ever, big and beautiful and bold. And you can feel the heat of the fire dancing on your arms and legs and face. You can see the light flickering. You can hear the crackle of the fire. You feel safe, and you feel warm, and you feel welcome. So if you look next to you, you have a pen and a pad of paper. Taking them into your hands, start to write out these things that aren't serving you right now. And we talked a little bit about it at the beginning of class. Maybe these are new things. Write them down one at a time. Maybe you're going to use an entire page. Rip it out of the notebook. Roll it into a ball. And before you throw it into the fire, offer it up some thanks. Because any challenge that we ever have is often a lesson learned. And maybe you know what that lesson is. Maybe you have no idea what that lesson is. It doesn't matter. Take that little ball of wadded up paper with whatever it is in there that dissatisfies you, stresses you out, doesn't make you feel you're worthy. Give it thanks. And then when you're ready, toss it into that fire and let it go. And you can see the burnt paper turning red and then burning up, and then maybe even floating off into the air, off into parts unknown. And you can feel automatically this sense of release. And do it again. Write whatever comes to mind, anything. Write it down, big bold letters. Give it some thanks. And then throw it into that fire. Send it on its way. Knowing that however it served you, it was for a purpose. And then go ahead and take a few more moments here. And writing and thanking and releasing. Even if you feel stuck, just release whatever comes to mind. Even if it feels like it's the tiniest thing and you're like, it'll go away. Don't let it take its own time. You show it when it's time to go. And if you have one more, go ahead and write that down. Hold it close to your heart. Thank it for the lesson learned. And then let it burn. Releasing. And then sitting back and noticing how much lighter you feel. Hopefully you feel like a little burden has been lifted, even if it's just for this moment, because sometimes really that's all we can do. Please bring your hands to heart space and Anjali Mudra. Actually, I should ask if you're lying down. You can start finding a little bit of movement. Fingers, toes. Rocking the head from side to side. And then for a moment or two, if you'd like, you can roll to one side. Taking a couple of breaths in a fetal position. And then once you make your way back into that seated position, draw the hands together in Anjali Mudra and honor all that you are, all that you do for yourself and others. And any time you need to release, you can come back to this meditation. And I'd like to leave you with a quote, and I will probably bumble it, but I posted it on my private face group, Yoga for a Courageous Life. And it is, there are no limitations that can stand in the light of love. Namaste.